Howdy everybody, good day. Well, welcome back. Since I got my 1105 done, it's time to work on this old pig. Get its little hydraulic issues solved, because once that's solved, then I can work on some other small issues that it has, and you know, that's been kind of my plan. Remember how I said I wanted to change the pump out on that because I figured the pump was bad? I might have been wrong about that. Let me show you what we got here. Guys, let me show you what we've got to do here. All right, let's get this seat up here. Hopefully there's no raccoons taking a little nap under there. My trusty seat holder upper. That's close, almost trustworthy. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, I'm getting myself situated into this situation. This is kind of a catch-22 because it's handy that everything's right here for you to see. It's unhandy that there's not a good way to get to it. You know, if that makes sense to you. That's the best way I can explain this. Hey guys, if you were wondering why I was complaining about this is sitting in the doorway, pedals, steering column, workspace, me. Anyway, back to what I was doing. I'm going to kind of go this route again. Now, I'd mentioned that the pump was leaking. Nope, that's not true at all. Guys, this hose right here, you can see, that's not good. I think what happened when my bracket let go and spun this thing around, it smashed the top of my really dirty tailing elevator here. It's pulled this loose. And loose enough to where I feel like it probably just took a thread out of there. So I think with the new hose, because, I mean, things were working fine until the bracket broke the first time. I welded it back together and finished that field, finished the next field, and the last strip on the last field, it broke again. Why did it break? That is still up for jury. So here's the thing, fellas, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know that you will, because I can count on you. My hydraulic pump is still pumping. It's not putting any foam, I mean, not a stupid amount of foam into the tank until it pulls itself loose, snaps around. So I don't necessarily think that pump is bad. I do, however, think that this old fatigued piece of metal that the first time broke in a really strange way. Like, I mean, that combine's a 75, I believe, so for 49 years it's been banging around in there. I did a poor job of welding it back together. I didn't think it was going to be that strenuous on this thing, but nevertheless, that weld held for not enough acres. Just enough. Let's say just enough acres. So here's my thought. Now, I've already mentioned how maybe I haven't, but so when I was trying to put the belts on that last year, that hydraulic pump shaft has super tightened itself inside of the snout on the end of that. So it's basically at this point, the only way I'm getting that off of there is if I cut the shaft off, weld a nut to it, and then try to turn the nut out. Or get some super hot torches, which I don't have, and maybe I can warm it up enough to where I can get it loose. I've had the pump off there before. It's not that big of a job to change. It is, however, when the belts wrap themselves around that pump shaft and super tighten themselves into the snout, then it becomes a lot more trouble. All the more reason, too, I'm not big on changing that pump out if I don't have to. So I thought, what if I take a piece of metal in similar length to this, maybe a shade thicker than that, cut these 3 holes in it, and maybe a little, so I can slide it over the shaft of that pump, still bolt it to the pump, still bolt it back on down here where it holds everything together, change out that hydraulic hose that has the threads kind of stripped out on it. And I'll tell you this, they looked a little ripe when I took that pump off the first time last fall. It's 100%, that's exactly where the fluid's coming from. If I put a new hose on there and maybe that new adapter, I feel like all that leaking's going to be gone. So the only thing I can really do is try it. Worst case scenario, I got a new hose and I still got to put a pump on it somehow. So I got the time right now. Why not just try the easiest thing first and see if that works? So like I say, I'm just brackets off. Look at that beautiful tractor. No, wrong video. Let's get back to what we were doing here. Task at hand. Task at hand. Alright, let me go and peel this hose off of here the rest of the way. I don't know. This hose, it ain't like it's a new hose anyway. It's in pretty rough shape. Let's just... It feels like there's some kind of cross thread going on in there, so let's just pull this hose right out. Run up to the local parts house and have a new hose made. I already had this one made last fall when this came apart, so that one's holding on nice and tight, but this one, now, oh yeah, those threads look like total hell in there, so I'm gonna see if I can get him out and get a new one of those fittings also. And by golly, this might work out after all. Just maybe. And there's that guy. Okay, now this guy. There, we'll get a new adapter and a new hose. That's going to stop that leak from happening. Back from the parts house. Got myself a new hose. Complete with brand new fitting. That same one that was kind of stripped out on this end. So that hopefully will solve that problem. That won't leak anymore. I also, while I was there, picked up this hunk of steel. Looks to be about the same width as this stuff I was working with before. And like I said, guys, I think I'm just going to give it a zing right here. Punch out these two holes and then kind of just, I don't know, cut a spot in there where that I can kind of slide it into where that pump sits. And like I said, guys, it's worth a shot. If it doesn't work, I'm not out any serious money. I needed the hose regardless, so you know, there's that piece of metal. Well, I don't know. I can always use a piece of metal for something. So I guess, guys, let's get fabricating. There's phase one. Now, gonna have to kind of throw a couple of bends in here the best I can. That'll be just about that, the best I can. Nothing to shake a stick at, but whatever. This would indeed be a lot easier if I had some torches to warm it up, but I don't. Got to work with what you got. know if that's going to be great. It might not be bad, it might not be good, but I'm going to go kind of test fit it, see if it fits in the hole in there, and we'll go from there. As crazy as that was, I think it's going to work. Let me show you. So now, again, this little setup could last 10 minutes or 10 years. Either way, I guess we're going to try it out. So, hard to see in there, but got it in. Clear as the shaft. I got to hook up the little rubber strap down there. I'll get my new hose and fitting put on. Basically, guys, I gotta tighten up some bolts. Then let's fire up this combine. Kind of run it through all the hydraulic things and just, you know, kind of eyeball it. At this point, there's nothing much more we can do. Boy, guys, nothing like being down in the dungeon here. Now, just from speaking from experience, you ever have one of those situations where you got a nut that you have to get onto a bolt and it's way down there in no man's land and you can't reach it, and the spot to get your hand through ain't big enough? These long pliers have saved my butt more than once. And they're going to do it again today. If you believe that, you know I'm lying to you. Let's get these two bolts tightened up. All right, now that was terrible. Huh. Well, now we'll just replace all the hydraulic oil that's leaked out of it. Perfect. I'm right on low right now, and I kind of want to leave it there just because I don't have the feeder house on the ground or low, or, you know, tool down, whatever. Probably will need a top off after this, but at least this will be enough to get us started. Guys, since we just started this last weekend, she ought to take right off, considering it's 25 degrees warmer than it was when it started last time. So probably still need a little bit of the Playboy Mansion's dating juice here, but we'll see what happens. No disappointment. That was a fairly epic cold start. I'm about out of gas here. I better get some more. Let's see how that hydraulics are doing. so far, I'll give you an idea. Well, here's the worm's eye view. Nothing looks out of the ordinary, let's say. There ain't no fluids leaking through, which, I mean, I would expect a little bit. I leak a little fluid here and there, so I don't know, guys. You think that's going to work? I'm kind of there. I kind of think it will. Well, I got everything still doing what it's supposed to be doing. Now, guys, I did notice I opened up the door on my tailings elevator. Those little rubber flaps aren't hitting it where it got bashed down, so maybe I'll just leave that be. I don't know. I mean, it can't hurt to fix it, but I don't know. It's doing the thing, guys. This old combine always just leaves me waiting for whatever happens next, you know? She's doing her thing. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's back her down. Okay, so she's had a minute to homogenate there. Let's... So guys, I guess I'm going to leave it like this for right now. I mean, I don't know what else to do if it's going to work. I honestly feel like that old bracket was just fatigued, and when I welded it, it was already old metal and just, well, A, I probably didn't weld it very well, and B, it was, I don't know, maybe that's hardened and it was just going to break there. I don't know the answer to those questions, but what I've done so far seems to be working good. And long and short of it, I mean, the shaft holds it right into the engine, so all you got to do is keep it from pulling like that. I don't know. I'm going to leave it like this, I think, for now, and just try it, see what happens. Worst case scenario, I still got to cut that pump off of there and put a new pump on, but hey, we'll burn that bridge if and when we get there. Like I say, it's all working good right now, so the pump's never not pumped. It seems like steering good, feeder house goes up and down, auger comes in and out. There ain't much more to it than that, guys. So I guess that's one thing down. What's next? Auger, transmission. I think I'm going to do both of those things, but well, I don't know. Hit me up with a comment. What would you rather see? I could take the auger off and we'll just, I feel like since I'm in the mood to save money here, maybe we'll just bang that auger straight, weld some new metal on that, and that'll be fine too. Like I said, guys, I hate to throw money at this old combine, but I also hate to completely let her go to junk. So, I don't know. It's a tough road to hoe when you got this old combine that you've had since forever, and it's kind of sentimental. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me, I think, today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.